Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Horizen Weekly Insider number 83. Today is April 12th, 2021. Thanks for joining us live here on Discord and YouTube. Please be aware that this call is being recorded and is going to be available for you to check out later in our Horizen podcast. Also, please remember to be asking your questions on Menti so we can answer them all at the end. I'll pass the word now to give us the engineering updates to Alberto. Alberto, please, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Angie. Okay, let's start as usual with Zendu. And okay, we're moving on with multiple tasks on Zendu. In particular, we're performing the first code review for both the forward transfer minimum amount and the main chain backward transfers without the need of providing a snark proof. Do you remember this improvement? In parallel, we have also finished the first level of code review of the sidechain blocks transaction commitment tree implementation in Rust. So also this now it's ready for final review. And we have also kept working on the proof verifier integration, and more specifically about the changes to the mempool processing and to the miner processing. And here, for example, there is the the processing in another thread of the snark proofs and the removal in the miner processing. I mean, the get block template of the additional verification of the snark proofs that were already verified in the previous steps. Last but not least, we're keeping working on another couple of things, and in particular the development of adding all the data that is necessary to validate a certificate or assist sidechain withdrawal to be able to ban nodes sending non-verified proofs. So what was the problem here? If you're receiving a certificate and you don't have, for example, I mean, I will simplify, the start main chain block hash and end main chain block hash associated to this certificate, the snark proof could not verify just because maybe it was created for another, for a fork. And this doesn't mean that we have to ban the sender of the certificate, because it can happen that he generated the certificate for another branch, but now for any reason a block is reverted or what else, the certificate, the snark proof was already created, and so it's legitimate this. But not being able to providing or to banning or to identifying if there is the need of banning someone could lead to a potential issue, because an attacker can reuse this kind of strategy for sending non-verifying snark proofs, and you don't have the way for really understanding if it is not verifying because it was maliciously created or because of a fork or whatever. So for this reason, we are appending to the certificate all the data that is necessary to verify it. And so not relying on the fact that the main chain will pass, the current start main chain block hash and then main chain block hash. We pass it. So each main chain node will be able to then discard immediately if the certificate is not related to the current active chain and is related to another chain. And if it is related to the current chain and is not verifying the proof, then he will be able to ban the sender because the snark proof is not verifying. So, this is just to provide a little bit of more context. And okay, now let's move to the SDK. And on the SDK, we continued with the final code reviews last week. And in particular, we finished the one about the multiple certificates support and the cumulative sidechain commitment tree. A few changes were requested, and all of them already being addressed. And so we proceeded approving them and merging them. Currently, there are no pending pull requests on the SDK, so great progress there with regards of our next delivery. Last, about the proving system, we were able also there to continue with the final code reviews. The few changes requested in the last 2 weeks have been addressed, and we were able to finish and approve them. Moreover, we started reviewing the algebra OCL integration and already reached a good point. So we will keep doing final code reviews, and in parallel, we will also continue working on the proof verified related activities. Okay, that probably it's all for today. From our side, back to you, Angie.
Thank you so much, Alberto, for the engineering updates. Let's continue with Jonathan to give us the growth updates.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. So on my end, we finally launched the STZen huddle bonus last week. We had a little bit of issues getting it live, but we've worked through all of those issues, and it now works very well, very quickly, very efficiently. Thanks to Alan and Tuan for putting that together. So since we launched, we haven't really done a lot of advertising for it other than on this call, and we've already seen about a 27% increase in the number of users that are staking STZen, which is great. And we're not actually going to start promoting it until today. So next week, I should have some even better numbers for everybody about STZen usage. In addition to that, we're working with Lucy to fix a couple of issues on the website, including updating the ambassador page, some HDE fixes, updating Rob's bio on our page, and a bunch of other small tasks. And that's it for me this week. Thanks. Back to you, Angie.
Thank you. Now let's continue with Vanna to give us the BD updates.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. So we have announced a partnership with API's platform in February this year, and they will be using Zendu to enhance the transparency and security of their platform. And APIS provides intuitive blockchain services like lowering the entry boundary for users and allows them to participate easily. And until APIS usage of Zendu, though, they also fully integrated Zen in their current platform, which means that they will be running Horizen nodes and giving rewards to their users. And it is also worth noting that APIS service is a custodial service, so essentially they will be custodying your funds. But at the same time, they are also providing two types of nodes. One is using their own cryptocurrency, APIS, and another is using so-called shared node services, is using the native currency of the blockchain. And Horizen is supported on the second type of nodes, which is a shared type of node where you can stake Zen and get rewards also in Zen. So yeah, please have a look at their services and see how it goes. I'm now passing it to Kaspers for Datis.
Thanks, Vano. Hi, everyone. I have two things today on my side. So first is that staked Zen token is now integrated with Accounting, which is a crypto tracking and tax reporting platform that you can now use to basically monitor, track, manage, and report your STZen holdings using their platform. They have already listed Zen for quite some time already, and we are happy that they are supporting STZen now as well. The second thing is that we had a successful sidechain partnerships call with a top 50 crypto project last week, and we are about to sign an MOU with them. More details to follow once we coordinate the joint roadmap, but really excited about this and hoping we'll be able to release a press release at the end of April or first half of May. That's it from me today. Back to you, Angie.
Thank you, Casper Zimbano. Next, we have Lucy with the marketing updates.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. So short updates from me today, but lots of work's being done behind the scene. The $2,500 giveaway for the STZen holders is still ongoing. So far, we have over 2,700 users participated. The last date to enter the giveaway is May the 8th. So we will roll out a winner's announcement after that. But the earlier you enter the giveaway and start holding 10 SD Zen, the earlier you can win and receive $100 in rewards. So I strongly recommend that you act fast. And Jonathan just mentioned the Zen Community Hub the faucet added ST Zen to its sweet HODL bonus feature last week. We didn't announce or promote a new feature last week because we wanted to give it time for us to fix any potential bugs and issues. So really congratulations to Jonathan and his team for the successful integration and the launch. Although we didn't announce last week, many hub users saw the STs and HODL feature and used it and already started recommending it to other people on social media. So it just shows how active and anticipated our community is. So really nice to see that. So we are officially announcing the STs and HODL today, and we hope to see more people will benefit from it. And last week, the podcast Gold, Silver, Bitcoin released a near an hour-long interview with Rob. In the interview, Rob talked about privacy rights, the math behind the Bitcoin and other blockchain projects, and the unique value proposition of Horizen. So it's a quite in-depth insight on these topics. Definitely worth listening. So please check it out.
Wow, an hour of Rob? That's amazing.
Yes,
that sounds like so much
I know.
Fun. Man, can't wait to hear.
But yeah, please check it out. I strongly recommend it. Other than that, we're working behind the scene for more upcoming announcements and media collaborations. So please stay tuned for sure. And then I think we also have some updates about the ambassador program from Erica. Erica, the floor is yours.
Hey everyone, happy Monday. So we are coming closer to the rollout of the ambassador program, and I'm super, super excited. This last week, we worked on creating the document templates for welcoming new Zen evangelists into the ecosystem. We also worked on some updates to the website design. We're working on getting testimonials from our news evangelists on why they chose to be part of the Horizen community, to kind of share with potential ambassadors what it's like to be part of the Horizen community and as an evangelist. This week, we're going to be finalizing some Discord updates for the daily tasks that we'll be doing through the Discord server. This includes tracking task completion, sharing new tasks, and the payments for completing the task. But that's all for now. I hope everyone has a great week.
Awesome, really excited. I think we're really wrapping up, and then we'll be able to announce it very soon. That's it from us. Back to you, Angie.
Thank you, girls. Now let's welcome Rosario with Product and Engineering.
Good morning, good afternoon, happy Monday. So we are on the last month of development for those that are tracking that summary that Angie posts at the beginning of the conversation. And it's very nice to see the progress each week. We're on the final steps to sign our vendor for the third-party audit, and we're hoping we can start the audits in May. So everything's moving along nicely. Along with the Zendu delivery, we also have an upgrade to the main chain Explorer. And right now we are in the steps of performing performance comparison and fixing issues, but that will also be a delivery within the Zendu umbrella. And speaking of performance, we held a working session last week with Alberto and our PR team to help educate them about the significance of the performance measures on the sidechain. And it's a little bit hard for non-technical people to understand. So I really appreciate Alberto going through that with them, and now hopefully it'll help him with the pitch and help inform our marketing messaging as well. Moving to Horizen Lab updates from the HL product team. So as you all, if you're listening through this week to week, you know that the HL product team is the first external team providing direct feedback on the use of the SDK. Part of the lessons learned from building the audit sidechain, for example, was implicit requirements, data structures, and things that were implicit requirements. And now we are going to be taking those lessons learned and adapting those to the game chain, and also updating our documentation, because these are just things that from a usability perspective will help external developers build and using the SDK in a more clear way. So really appreciate Apollo's effort and Alexander's effort in getting us to this point. So the audit sidechain is complete. There's a remaining open issue, but it's not blocking our transition to Celsius. And now we've transitioned with Celsius to a weekly cycle, a meeting cycle, and the Celsius developers started writing the app on their end that's required to broadcast transactions on our audit sidechain. So we're very close to the completion of milestone 1, and we're working very closely with our Celsius partners. Regarding the game chain, the Explorer is complete. So the development is complete. It still needs to be tested, but that is one of the major components. And now the game chain portion needs to be adapted, as I mentioned previously, to include those implicit requirements on building a sidechain, and also going through the test process. And I think that's it for my side. And I think I could just hand it over to Rob.
Sorry, guys. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Rosario. Not much more to say, just that everything's on track with Zendu. That's something I want to repeat every week because it's so important. Really, getting this tech to market is the huge inflection point for our project, and we're getting really close, guys, at least for completing development. Last week, I discussed with the team I took some time to discuss the heritage that we've had, building the tech team from 2017 when we first launched to where we are today, and just all the exciting stuff that happened in between. Some more exciting than others, but now what I wanted to do is to continue painting the picture for where we're heading in the near to intermediate term as an organization, including tech, including some more things on the product side and go to market, but then also going beyond tech and how we're just expanding the entire ecosystem and the organizations within the ecosystem. So quick caveat, as I'm speaking here, I'm speaking from a collective Horizen set of organizations, not specific to one entity or another, like the foundation, like labs, like pipeline. This right now I'm viewing as kind of from the macro perspective of where we're going collectively. The Milan team, like I think last week's conversation was really about the tech team, which is centered in Milan, and they have blown away all expectations just in terms of building this engineering and R&D center. We have really gained significant, and I would say industry-leading expertise in protocol development, innovation on protocols, all right, not just taking protocols and deploying stuff that other people have built, but to actually innovate from ideas of thinking first principles, where you want to go with the stuff, where the world is going with blockchain over the coming, say, 3 to 5 years, and how what we're building today is going to be leading that. We have now a cryptography group in the Milan office. The team also does all the liaison work with external partners, but really key partners like IOHK and the R&D team we have there, with our external software developers that really, from a functional perspective, are just like embedded team members with us. But we have guys from Infopulse, from NTT, and that's all managed out of the Milan team. We also have the start of our product engineering team in Milan, where this concept of building a blockchain factory really kicked off. And Rosario, Paolo, Maurizio, and the guys there actually building today with very limited resources, a highly productive, functional, and really badass team to explore building products and taking them to market with at least POCs with really key design partners. But that's really for most of the conversation of last week. Now, I want to make some announcements this week and really talk about some gaps that I see in our overall organization and where we need to continue to mature and is in some cases leapfrog, and in other cases kind of incrementally grow. So one of these leapfrog circumstances is we just made our first key leadership hire in New York City. So we alluded to last week, I believe, the idea of building out another product engineering center. We just made our first hire on key leadership to build out a team. The team's going to be based in New York City. Not to say that all of our product engineers need to reside, at least from the US, need to reside in New York City, but at least here we're going to have a clustering of engineers and build out a product center directly. They will be working with and augmenting the work that's already been taking place with the product team out of Milan, and really just turbocharge the stuff in a few different directions. So the way that I envision this is I want to build 3 product engineering teams with this new center in New York. The first team will be SDK as a product. And this is, encompasses activities like building out new modules and working with design partners like IOTA Streams from IOTA, DIA data on the financial Oracle feeds, and others like them to continuously expand the functionality and things you can do with the SDK with new modules. I'm also really fanatical now about bringing DeFi into Horizen. So one of the first really big areas that we're going to focus is on the low-hanging DeFi fruit. And we've already been talking to a very successful algorithmic stablecoin project that is very interested in basically replicating what they've done already on Ethereum and Binance chain into the Horizen ecosystem. So this will be one of those projects that is so fundamental to DeFi is you have to have stablecoins. We've been talking about this for a while, and we're going to continue to explore multiple different stablecoin concepts. But the technology that we're building is all about decentralization. So it's really important for us to choose our partners wisely. And this partner in particular is one that does everything in a decentralized fashion. So it's very congruous with just the overall strategy and vision that we have. Another team will be building products with the SDK, and this is all about the verticalization of what we're doing. So going to market, and this right here, this is Horizen Labs' bread and butter that I'm talking about right now in terms of going to market with products and doing this type of product engineering function. This would be for projects like Celsius, IOTA, Sokoba, those that we've already announced, then a whole bunch of others that are super exciting companies that we're talking to and other blockchain projects that we're talking to that we will be, we need a product team. We need to expand the product team because the capacity that we just have such limited resources currently, and we know we have to hire and we can't hire fast enough for some of these functions. And then other things would be like on the enterprise use case side. And this would be like another function of, products built with the SDK, actually tackling large enterprises. And can Horizen, side chains replace other DLT type of solutions on the market that maybe are lacking real traction? So that there's, 85% of large enterprises are looking at blockchain technology or / distributed ledger technology. And many of them have gone with solutions that are just not really decentralized. And I think some of them, at least at a minimum, some of them, if not, the majority of them are realizing that these kind of private siloed DLT solutions are not as valuable as plugging into a public blockchain network and getting the benefits of decentralization. And that's what our SDK is all about. This product engineering team will be focusing heavily on these B2B type of use cases where we can have enterprises deploy the technology to participate now, use Horizen infrastructure, be part of our ecosystem, but really take the SDK, make it their own, and solve their own business problems with it. And then I want an internal products team. This will be focusing on things like Sphere by Horizen as a product. This is something that we've lamented for a while, and that we haven't dedicated significant engineering resources to SBH as a product for a variety of reasons. Right, the main focus we had to focus. We're in a world where we have more resources, but up until even 3 months ago, we were operating in a world with extremely limited resources where we had to focus. And the focus was obviously on Zendu and getting the sidechain technology complete, and then thinking about how we deploy it to market. So I want to revisit this internal products team to focus on things like Sphere by Horizen and really consider it a product, like a consumer grade product that can get out there and people love, they use, they rely on it, right? And then maybe extend this into a mobile version we've been talking about for way too long. And you guys who have been with us for a while know the history behind our Sphere by Horizen mobile application. We're just never confident with the third party who was building it previously to deploy it successfully. So we halted that project and we focused resources. But maybe it's time to revisit that once we get this other internal products team up. We also have explorers, libraries, and so forth. Ecosystem as we're building it. On the foundation side, I want to hire a developer evangelist tech group. So this would be functions like repository or development opportunities for the community via HDE. So things like curate, monitor, do code reviews, test, really but act as facilitators more than doers, because we want to empower the community's developers in our ecosystem versus do everything ourselves. We will be expanding our marketing team. I actually get this a lot, probably more than most people realize, is there are so many people out there that still don't know what Horizen is. They don't know what Zen is, which is insane given the level of innovation going on here and the competence that we have in just the set of orgs relative to the market. And as we get out there and as our BD team has been talking to so many other companies and projects and so forth, we realize that so many people still lack basic understanding of what we're doing. Like some people that are even coming in as investors, after we talk to them, they say, wow, we just thought you were a knockoff of a privacy coin. We didn't really have the bandwidth to even update and refresh our perspectives of what's going on in Horizen. So we realized we need to expand our outreach on marketing. We have to expand our brand awareness, getting out there with influencers, doing a ton more content creation. We need to actually do some other sophisticated marketing things like data analysis of the investments that we make. So we will be doing hiring on the marketing team. More to come on that, but we will have some open positions in the very near term. And let's see, and then these are just new hires that I'm talking about, but you heard Erica mention the ambassador program. So again, continuing to round out our ecosystem, we need to continue empowering the community. I talked about developer evangelists, empowering developers. Well, we will be empowering other types of community members to do other type of evangelism, community building, and awareness campaigns. And then, needless to say, we've been talking about the Horizen Community Council for a while. HCC really needs to, we need to focus on cultivating really the growth of this organization, empowering community members in a whole bunch of different ways. Finally, guys, this won't be an hour, but I do have one teaser to throw out there, and this is everything that I've talked about. Is I've mentioned some gaps in our ecosystem and the things that we're doing in the very near future, like imminently to intermediate term, to fix these gaps. And so another gap, as I see it, is we're missing a B2C arm. And I'm putting this in like a business context, like a business to consumer arm. But really, we are missing things like an NFT type of platform where people can do these hot consumer apps using the blockchain tech that we have. We're just missing that. Like we've known about NFTs for years, and we've been building a protocol that can for sure do NFTs, obviously. But we're really lacking just a team dedicated on the consumer end to building these types of portals and building these types of tools to work with businesses, work with artists, work with different media groups to take advantage of this technology. So again, not to disclose too many more details here, but we are considering another entire group separately, like another product group. They would be focusing on these types of consumer applications. Think in the NFT world, but not exclusively NFTs, but in that direction of things that are just really hot on the market right now and things that we forecast to be hot over the coming years. And I'm not talking about like novelty NFTs per se. I'm talking about like commoditized NFTs used to turbocharge user engagement on customer platforms or consumer platforms. That's the type of thing we're thinking. And this is like another completely separate arm of this ecosystem that we're building that I think is extremely important. So that said, I will stop here. I know we're right on time, or a minute over. Any questions, Q&A, Angie?
Sure. Thank you, everyone, for contributing with your questions. The first one is, any fresh news regarding sidechain performance metrics?
No fresh news in terms of new performance numbers, but like Rosario said, Alberto has been working with our PR team, marketing team, to help digest what these performance numbers mean, because it's one thing to say 20,000 transactions per second, but what does that really mean? Because it could be misleading in itself. Like, we're not a high frequency trading type of optimized platform, but in aggregate, if you look at 1,000 blockchains operating in parallel, having that type of like total system performance, is meaningful. I mean, more than meaningful. It's tremendous. It's outstanding. But so that was the big thing. The next step for us is, engineering's been clarifying and like working with marketing on the PR message, and then we're going to be getting out there and we're going to be really public about it, really loud about this, because it's a really big deal.
Awesome. The second question is, how easy will it be to launch a sidechain using SDK? Can I do it without being an engineer?
Well, I would say super easy. I'm sure Alberto thinks super easy as well. But no, I mean, the reality is the way it stands right now, because we have our own product team for labs, is like the quote external first user of the SDK as a product. We know for sure that this is not easy. Definitely not easy. It's not meant to be easy. Launching a blockchain is a very complicated thing, and like maintaining the blockchain and actually doing useful things with like a public blockchain is not simple, and it really was never meant to be super simple. Now, again, like we want to provide all of the tools to make it, to continue abstracting away complexity and continue offering a better user experience for the types of users that we think are appropriate for the SDK, which really are developer users and like companies maybe that have developer teams or individual developers. But these, like in general, I would say, at least for the foreseeable future, we're not talking about like super easy, plug and play where like a novice could launch a blockchain. It's really meant, at least out of the box, really for a developer audience.
And Rob, what I can add for about this is that maybe we can think about specific sidechain for, let me say, specific use cases where then you can think about having a sort of a customization or configuration made by the user, but on that specific blockchain. No? So you can have a specific use case covered by a sidechain in a general way, and that could be could be thought to be configured by the user. That can be even not an engineer. So we can think about something like that for some specific use cases.
Perfect. Thank you, Alberto.
Great. And the third and final question is, Mina launching community token sale tomorrow. How do you view them as a competitor?
That's yeah. I mean, this is a project that we haven't actually viewed as a competitor, but actually as one that we've been not say like a technology partner, but one whose technology we very much respect. And it was motivation for actually part of Alberto's design for the Lattice implementation for how we do recursion. So I don't know, Alberto, if you want to say anything from the technical perspective on it, but I would say from the business perspective, we're not really viewing them as a competitor for where we're going. I mean, their main value proposition is on the recursion side, and we're also including that type of recursion into our sidechain product.
Yeah, I totally agree, Rob. I mean, we share, let me say, a common approach in providing a succinct proof about the history, and in our case, is used for the cross-chain interaction. They're using it for proving the success state of the blockchain. And so from a technical perspective, we share a lot, and we took, let me say, some inspiration from what they were doing. I mean, they are a great project, and so, but I would not see them as competitor at all. I mean, we are using the snacks also for, let me say, a different reason and for a different purpose. And by the way, there are many projects out there that let me say are using snarks and contributing to this community of zero knowledge. And I mean, all these projects we cannot see as competitors, but as a big community where, I mean, all of us are contributing from their side.
Awesome. So those were the top 3 questions. Thank you to the community members who visit us every week and contribute with their questions as well. I guess this is a wrap. Thank you, everyone, for being here at our Weekly Insider, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Angie. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.